Coming up now in your spoiler-free wrestling news rundown, Tony Khan has responded to the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission issuing a warning over Nyla Rose wrestling a cisgendered woman at an event in the state. We've also got an update on WWE's investigation into Ronda Rousey's allegations against Drew Gulak, and more on what Vince McMahon has been up to since resigning from TKO 3 months ago. All that and more coming up now. There is a potentially fairly big story coming out of Oklahoma right now concerning the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission issuing a warning to AEW regarding having Nyla Rose compete against a cisgendered woman in the state. And so this story really started to get some traction when a photojournalist by the name of Colleen Welcher posted to X on Wednesday that they had received the minutes from a Oklahoma State Athletic Commission meeting on January 3rd, 2024, where it was brought up that Nyla Rose had a match on AEW's show in the state on December 20th, and the commission decided to warn AEW against doing this. So evidently, the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission has a rule in place about transgendered women competing against cisgendered women. Now, you might be wondering, hey, what does an athletic commission even have to do with professional wrestling in the first place? Well, most athletic commissions stay out of it. And this dates all the way back to the 1980s when Vince McMahon basically admitted that wrestling was predetermined so that he didn't have to pay certain taxes and he didn't have to deal with these athletic commissions anymore. Now, there are some athletic commissions that do stay involved with professional wrestling. For instance, in Maryland, they will fine wrestling organizations for doing things that they deem too dangerous, such as blading, such as dangerous spots, things of that nature, which is like that I can understand. However, there are lots of concerns regarding this specific athletic commission going out of its way to take money from wrestlers, to take money from wrestling promoters. And now the play-by-play announcer for New Japan Pro Wrestling, Walker Stewart, he went on a rant on X. He defined it as a rant. I'm not calling it a rant. So Walker Stewart, the voice for New Japan Pro Wrestling, he shed a little bit of light on what this athletic commission does to wrestlers and promoters in Oklahoma. He said, here's a fun rant about the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission, knowing full and well they can't come after me the way they've come after my friends for various things recently, #not a wrestler. Always wanted to see Oklahoma wrestling in the spotlight, but it's archaic rules such as those mentioned in this statement that won't allow this to be the case. The Oklahoma Athletic Commission is a cancer of the wrestling scene in Oklahoma, a money grab that does nothing to protect wrestlers or protect the industry. They require a blood test, a physical, and $30 every year to wrestle, but do nothing regarding people faking their blood tests or even faking licenses when checked at events, thus making them inherently useless. The Oklahoma State Athletic Commission takes a percentage of the gate, which many promoters use as an excuse for why they can't pay people decently, and whether that's the reason or why or not, there is no need to take a percentage of the house if you're set in place to facilitate a healthy scene. And of course, the fact that the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission has no jurisdiction over Native American land, and Oklahoma heavily consists of Native land. Yet I consistently see commissioners appearing in Tulsa, McAllister, some other cities I don't know of. What's up with that? Finally, inherently sexist laws have led to wrestlers being suspended for short sequences of intergender action within the last year. Now transphobic laws leading to this commission meeting about a transgender wrestler who competes all across the country, yet in Oklahoma, it's a subject of litigation. I'm in full support of a commission done right. I'm not an anarchist. A governing body that protects the industry and sets high standards for the community is welcome. But one with the archaic and prejudiced rules such as those mentioned shouldn't exist. Dismantle it like they did in Arkansas after a racketeering lawsuit, or reform it, which seems unlikely based on the political climate in the state. I don't believe reform dissolution of the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission would improve the pro wrestling scene in Oklahoma tenfold. There is a lack of proper training. There is a lack of etiquette. There are people who want to try and rule over talent in areas with an iron thumb like the territory days. But let's start with not banning transgender athletes in predetermined sports-based theatrical performance and see where we go from there. End rant. Tony Khan addressed this on a media call that was held on Thursday. Up on your screen now, these are some transcriptions from Fightful of Tony Khan's comments. He said, I would like to talk about that story with the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission and the warning they issued against AEW when we featured Nyla Rose on the show last December. I was really surprised by this. It's not something I was expecting, and of course, I was disappointed by the commission's position and by that warning. I don't think we did anything wrong. I'm really shocked by it. I don't think there should be discrimination against transgender wrestlers or transgender people at all. They have rights. To that end, I absolutely stand by Nyla Rose. AEW stands by Nyla Rose and all transgender people who want to play sports. This is wrestling. There was nothing wrong with it. Nyla Rose is a great wrestler and has been a great world champion. I love Nyla and working with Nyla. She has been a great part of our history. She was the first transgender world champion ever and is a great part of the AEW Together program. She does a ton for the community. She's a great person with a great heart. She's very supportive of the other wrestlers. One of the funniest people on social media. That's really true. Nyla Rose is hilarious. I personally have nominated Nyla to TBS for the best social media presence on more than one occasion over the years, so that's good. She is an AEW original, has been part of the team since 2019, going back to the first shows. Looking at everything Nyla has accomplished, to put that label on her, it's not right. She is much more than that. She's a great athlete. I hope everybody can look at Nyla and see she is a great wrestler, a great person, and deserves the same chances as everybody else. If the AEW locker room, which consists of people from all over the world and all different backgrounds and beliefs, if everybody in the locker room can embrace Nyla, I would hope the Oklahoma Commission can do the same thing. You dumb fucks. So there are going to be some people that are listening to this who are not respectful of transgendered rights. To those people, I would just say, please listen to me with an open mind for just a few moments. There's a reason why CM Punk, Kenny Omega, everyone in wrestling aside from Rick Steiner supports rights for transgendered people. And it's because transgender people are just people. They deserve all the same rights as any other person. If you are someone who is hateful towards transgendered people, I'd like to ask you to please spend just like 15 minutes once a month or something asking yourself why you feel that way. And it's very frustrating when you know people who are transgendered and you see the hardship that they go through because of people spreading hate about them. It's very frustrating. Now, I'm not smart enough to know about all the logistical things involved in making society inclusive for all. I'm not smart enough to know that stuff, but I know that the only thing in my control is being respectful of everyone and helping to create a positive environment around me where everyone is welcome. If you are someone who's not respectful of transgendered people, future societies will look back on you in the same way that we look back on people who supported slavery or supported internment camps or generally just didn't support the expanding of rights to marginalized peoples. We look on those back on those people as if they were unrelatable assholes. So don't do that to yourself. Don't make it so that your great grandchildren look back on you and go, hey, what was great grandfather like? Oh, he was a total transphobe. Oh, well, fuck him then. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your legacy. All you have to do is be nice to people. An update is available regarding the story with Drew Gulak and Ronda Rousey. If you haven't heard what happened here, Ronda Rousey was on an episode of News Nation promoting her book, and she told this kind of strange story about a backstage incident involving Drew Gulak in 2022. Apparently, Ronda Rousey was backstage, and Drew Gulak, according to her, just pulled on her pant drawstrings. And she thought this was very inappropriate, and she confronted him about it. Well, according to Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE looked into Ronda Rousey's allegations against Drew Gulak, and here is what he wrote to his subscribers on Twitter. He said, regarding Ronda and Drew, what is unique about this one is both claimed there were witnesses. I was told WWE did an investigation, interviewed people, and Gulak has been murdered in storyline. So I presume that tells you the result of the investigation. So if you don't know what he's referring to about being murdered in storyline, so on NXT this week, the No Quarter Catch crew and the Tony D'Angelo family had a segment where it was revealed that the No Quarter Catch crew is in debt to the family because the family, quote, took care of someone that was one of No Quarter Catch Crew's own. They said, we took care of one of your own for you and you owe us. That kind of thing. So in storyline, it seems like Tony D'Angelo's family murdered Drew Gulak. Anyway, he's still technically with the company, although there are those that believe his release could be imminent. Ruby Soho is pregnant. The lucky father is Angelo Parker, who is both her partner on screen and off screen. So this was revealed in a segment that took place after the Rampage taping on Wednesday. So congratulations go out to Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker, but that'll take Ruby Soho out of the mix for like a year. And Matt Cardona is going to be out of action for an extended period of time. He has notified several promotions that he is going to have to cancel bookings with them because he has a torn pec. Bit of a blow for Matt Cardona. He's going to be off the road for a significant period of time. Also on the injury list is Yo. He is now out of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. He suffered a shoulder injury at Sakura Genesis in his match against Sho, and now it looks like that shoulder injury is bad enough that he will be missing the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. So the Best of the Super Juniors gets going on May 11th, and the finals of the tournament this year take place at Dominion on June 9th. So I won't go too deep into this story because Jeff and I did a reactions video to it yesterday, but NBC News posted an article with information regarding what Vince McMahon has been doing in the 3 months since he resigned from his position in the wake of the Janelle Grant lawsuit. So according to this article, he's had no contact with any executives from the TKO management team. That includes Ari Emanuel. That includes Mark Shapiro. He's completely out from that company. According to the article, he's had no conversations with Triple H regarding any business matters. It says that he's been traveling a lot, and it mentions a story about how he went to Turks and Caicos and came back with like 6 kittens and a puppy and gave them all to his friends. Very bizarre story that was put out there. It also says that Mr. McMahon's team is not worried about the federal criminal investigation into him and allegations of sex trafficking. He says he doesn't believe that there will ever be criminal charges brought against him for that. Concerning the Janelle Grant lawsuit, McMahon is said to believe that it will be settled out of court. However, Janelle Grant's lawyers stated that they have had no talks with McMahon's team regarding a settlement. But basically, the whole theme of this article was basically to just say that Vince McMahon has moved on from being ousted from the company. Also on today's AEW Media Call, Tony Khan was asked about his decision to air the CM Punk Jack Perry backstage footage from AEW All In. He was asked about backlash to the segment airing, and Khan had the following to say, and these transcriptions are from Fightful. He said, after the ratings came in, it felt like when TBS called me and told me, good job, you have to remember I'm responsible for everybody's job in the company. It is really important for us to please the network, and TBS was really happy with that show and that performance. That is the most important. Basically, he says here that the fan feedback is the rating. It was 400,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic, and that was a strong performance. That is how TBS judges the show. How TBS judges the show is the most important metric I have for the performance. I do think what we did last week added a lot of intrigue to this match, and I'm very excited for the Dynasty pay-per-view, and I'm very happy about how we got here. And that's going to do it for this video, everyone. If you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button, the like button, and the notifications bell, and we'll see you again next video.